everybody, my name is Jenny, and I'm going to talk to you today a little bit about my proposed research. I have not been here yet, but this is what I plan to do. So I'm going to give you today an overview, just a little bit of background, some of my goals and objectives, and the methodology. And it has to do with sea turtles. This is a green sea turtle in a captive situation. So a little bit of background, part of my project is focusing specifically on green sea turtles. So this is their range here, all the yellow. And this is from the IUCN Red List, just explaining that they are an endangered species throughout their range. And some of the reasons are up here on the slide. And you might notice that actually all the reasons that I chose are anthropogenic in origin. So the Georgia Sea Turtle Center, a little bit about it. It's on Jekyll Island, Georgia. You've heard a little bit about it already. They average about 80 sea turtles annually, and 33% of them are juvenile green sea turtles. And that has a large implication for the main part of my project, which I'll talk about in just a little bit. But something that I wanted to touch on is the mission of the Sea Turtle Center. And it has these three pillars: rehabilitation, research, and education. And they all come together to increase awareness of habitat and conservation challenges, promote responsibility for ecosystem health, and empower individuals to act locally, regionally, and globally to protect the environment. So I really liked that statement because it seems to be icon-y in origin. So the goals of my project are, the overall goal is to actually work specifically with green sea turtles and to evaluate the effect of diet on them. They are the only herbivorous adult sea turtle, so the effects of diet in rehab situations are a big deal. They are very often fed seafood-based diets, so we have no idea what kind of effect this has on a specifically herbivorous sea turtle. To develop a new diet is the second part of my project, using the results from the first part. And then the third part is where I'm trying to work right now to bring in a more icon-y effect. And I want to look at the education programs that are offered at the Sea Turtle Center. So two of the ones that I chose, they have a whole bunch, but the ones that I chose are the releases, where they actually release the rehabbed sea turtles back into the ocean. And they are obviously a very public event. And also the behind the scenes. So I don't know who this kid is, but this is the behind the scenes at the hospital where people can come and pay a little bit of extra money and actually come in and see the vet side of things. So the objectives are to create a survey, basically, and I want it to be a reliable survey. Implement it to these two groups, which I'll talk a little bit about how I'm going to do that in a second, and examine the differences and then get back to the Sea Turtle Center so that they can hopefully incorporate the results into their programming. So the methods. For behind the scenes, like I said, it's this group of people that pay this extra sum to go behind the scenes. And so I was looking at the possibility of doing a pre-post survey where we survey the same individuals before they have this opportunity and then after. And then the releases, I'm really interested in solely a post survey and looking at two different groups. And I want to look at the groups that are the people who are at the beach sunbathing for the day, and they just happen to have this great event happen, and they come up to it and learn a little bit. And those people who are like watching their calendars and they're like, oh, there's a release coming up, let's go. So there's these two profoundly different reasons for being there, and I think it would be really interesting to compare those two people. Before I get to the very end, I want to just touch on, I'm really interested, I'm taking Laura German's anthropology class to really try and develop these ideas with the methods and the icon side of my project. And I'm also joint with the vet school, so I'm really interested in people's perceptions of animal health and how rehab situations can play into that. So if y'all have suggestions, I would love to take them. That's it.
We have some time for some questions.
I went really fast. Or you can write them all on paper so I don't. Yeah.
So you said you're gonna survey like pre and post people visiting. What kind of, so you'd be asking them like what are their opinions on like rehabilitation or?
Yeah, and I haven't really gotten that far yet. My idea is just to kind of feel out people's perceptions about conservation in general and their values towards conservation, and maybe specifically sea turtles. I'd be interested in comparing groups like long-term residents versus people who just vacation in Jekyll Island. There's a whole lot of parameters that I'm like very in like the last few weeks thinking about, so yeah.
Well, thank you very much.
No problem.